So you're thinking about moving to Crowley, Texas. Well, today we're going to take a look at the pros and cons, the good and the bad, the yin and the yang of moving to Crowley, Texas. Before we do, if this is the first time to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and click the bell for notifications so you'll be the first to know about any changes in the Crowley area. So jumping into Crowley, Texas. If you don't know, Crowley is a suburb of Fort Worth. It is going to be to the southeast of Fort Worth, and it is quickly growing. First pro that I want to mention about Crowley, Texas, affordability. Affordability. If you are a growing family, if you have children, if you're wanting a larger home at a lower price, Crowley, Texas is a fantastic spot for that, especially if you want to be close to Fort Worth. If you work Fort Worth and you need to commute there, you want to find an affordable place to live. In addition to that affordability, Crowley, Texas is a place that right now there are specific areas within Crowley where you can get a 2% reduction in your interest rate. So if normal places in Fort Worth are 6.5% interest, I can get you right now somewhere between a 4.5 and a 4.8% interest rate. If the interest rates are at 7, I could get you a 5% interest rate essentially. And that's speaking pretty generally. In specific areas, it's very specific, but there are several areas in Crowley where we can get that lower interest rate, which is a tremendous help for lowering those monthly notes, those monthly mortgage payments. So what are some of the pros and cons other than housing affordability? Well, one of the things is a nice community atmosphere. It's a pretty hospitable place. It is busy at specific times, but it is pretty hospitable. It's close to Fort Worth. I mean, that's one of the major benefits of it is that proximity to Fort Worth. You can work in Fort Worth and you can be there in 10 to 15 minutes. You have access to a toll highway, Chisholm Trail, that gives you quick access to many spots around Fort Worth. It's pretty good schools. And Crowley is an area that the school system is pretty good. It's not the best schools, but it's not the worst schools. It just has pretty good schools, so it's a decent area for that. Lots of recreational opportunities, parks, places to take kids, playgrounds, things of that sort. So just overall, a pretty good spot for that. If you are interested in looking at properties and you wanted to go look at some of the suburbs around Fort Worth with proximity to it, Crowley would be one of the closer and better suburbs in terms of affordability. If you start going, maybe northwest, maybe toward Keller, you're going to see prices really start to go up significantly. So that is one major benefit of the Crowley area. Okay, we're going to look at the cons of Crowley, Texas. So what are the cons of living in Crowley, Texas? Well, number one is, I would say, straining infrastructure. It is growing very quickly. When you go through Crowley, you're going to have a lot of road work being done. This backs up traffic. This causes headaches. This gives you gray hair. This is one of the things that is very frustrating about going from Crowley to Fort Worth. If you're not using that toll road, Chisholm Trail, you're going through these areas where lots of road work is being done. That is just not an ideal situation. It is short term. They are going to fix it. It will get resolution at some point, but right now it is a pain, to say the least. Another con, the job market. You're probably working in Fort Worth or Arlington or Dallas. So you're probably working in one of these bigger cities. So you're not going to be 5 minutes from work. You're going to have a few more minutes. You're going to be on a suburban area where you have to travel into the main part of the city for job. work. So that's also something. If you're, wanting to live very close to work, Crowley is probably going to be a little further away. It's relative, so it's not very far. I mean, different areas, depending on where you're traveling to in Fort Worth. We're going to do a map view in a little bit in a separate video. In that map video, we're going to show you how to get from, say, Crowley to an area up northern Fort Worth. And we can even look and test to see how long that would take. Traffic obviously will change that a good bit. So the traffic, the infrastructure growing, new road work being done, and the commute to and from work because you have to work out of the city. Those are a couple of things that are negative. I would say you would probably add in as a con being in Tarrant County, higher property taxes. So while you do get the reduction in interest rate in specific areas, if you don't get that reduction, you have property taxes that can be relatively steep, in comparison to, say, like Hood County or Parker County or Somerville County. Tarrant County's taxes tend to be a little higher. Usually that translates into better schools, and so you're getting something for it. But maybe you don't have children. Maybe you have you're at that stage in life where you don't need to be in a good school zone. You're going to be paying property taxes, and a lot of that does go toward the ISD or the school taxes. So those are some of the cons of Crowley, Texas. And just in case you missed it, we did do a quick video tour around Crowley. We have some drone footage of downtown Crowley. And then we have some footage of going around and looking at a couple of different properties in and around Crowley, different price points. So be sure to check that out. We're also going to have another video of a map tour that I mentioned a moment ago. It's going to be a Google map, and we're going to evaluate Crowley as a part of the Fort Worth city, as just a suburb of Fort Worth. And we're going to evaluate it on that map view. And it gives you a good bird's eye view of how it relates to Fort Worth and kind of some of the pros and cons from an aerial map standpoint. So I hope you found all of this helpful. There's a lot more that we could talk about in terms of Crowley, but I think this gives you a really good overview of what to expect and how it compares to other suburban areas around the Metroplex. And so again, whether you're thinking about moving next week, maybe next month, or even next year, we'd love to hear from you. Give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. We'd love the chance to chat, to hear about your plans, some of your concerns, and see if there's any way we can help. And if not, we hope to see you around Crowley sometime. Thanks.